What's up, Brad? How are you doing? Hope you're doing good, brother. What's up, everybody? Good to see everybody here. Give me a sec. I'm gonna be fully connected here to the chat. Hello, Danny, Florian, Chovy, of course, Chovy. I see some of you changed your thumbnails right there. Danny, K, and Agent K. Joey, expanding time frame. Brad, of course, as we said. How can we do it without Brad? Ori Dekel, brother from another mother. Oh my God, what kind of respect did I deserve that Zachary himself showed up finally, brother from another mother, long lost veteran friend. How are you doing, Zach? I'm so happy to see you. I've been saying so many good stuff, so many good words about you. Unlike Tom, you know? Like only bad stuff. Oh God! Oh, that's so nice to see some of you here. Oh my God! I am. This is awesome, boys and girls. I'm fanboying over my friends here. So good to see you all. Ori, of course. Correction has begun. No, Ori, I was just about to start the thing with let's not panic nor take things too drastically. We know that the same way we're not going to be biased to one way, we're not going to be biased to another. Alex, good to see you. Accounting. Now that is some serious stuff. Shalom, good to see you. Another brother from another mother. That is so awesome. I feel the love right here. Christoph, of course, how could I miss you? Our awesome moderator. All right, so let's not waste any time. We're gonna get to pleasantries later as we go, and let's look at what the market is giving us. Okay, let's not jump to any conclusions. Remember, boys and girls, we do not. We're gonna try and not be biased in one direction or another. We're gonna try to be as objective as we can, regardless of today's feeling. Remember, the market can shrug it off within half an hour. I'm not even kidding. What we've done today is could be gone in half an hour. 1 minute is kind of not really interesting, as we know. It's just gonna readjust so many times. We might look back at it as we go. So let's just skip it for now. Right now, it's kind of bullish, probably mid trend here, maybe SMA. The nearest forces, let's just skip it, go 5. 5 is more indicative of what we're about to see. We still have plenty of time for this trading session, so let's see what can we squeeze out of it. This is looking more bearish. The market is very fearful. It's showing fear, very indicative. Look at the heat map. The only thing that is currently kind of afloat is Apple and Nvidia, and I was talking about it in the community when we just joined in the open forum. Shout out to all the legends here from the Discord. Those who don't know, there's of course the links in the description and all that. Join us. What's up, Greg? Palantir chart. We will, Zach. We will. Don't worry. We will. By the way, we will get to Palantir. We'll go over everything. Don't worry about that. And SoFi are up. We're gonna do a couple of things here. I promised somebody in the community here to go over a Netflix, so we're gonna do Netflix. We're gonna do, of course, Palantir, and of course, we're gonna do Tesla. Of course, we're gonna do some other interesting stuff today. Let's see, what is Tesla actually doing? Let me see Tesla. I'm curious. Yeah, Tesla is gonna fill that gap, boys and girls. This is gonna get filled. What? Too small and unimportant. Wait. We will see. We will see. Well, you're talking about the 1 minute. All right. So yeah, before we get distracted here, let's keep things in focus. So 5 minutes. 5 minutes is bearish. 5 minutes at face value, looking more bearish than anything. Let's grab our tools, start marking stuff. We can see this, right? I don't have to talk about it too much. We have the 58.29. Cristiano, how could I forget you, my friend? First of all, hello. So we're kind of seeing what's going on. It's 58.29. We're potentially maybe looking at where the convergence of the trends right now that kind of makes sense. That downtrend sort of works with this. not that exciting, nothing all that excessive that we should be getting excited about. But we're objectively going to look at the 30 minutes. Something interesting happened today, so we basically ended up retesting that range that we're in, right? That trend, if you will, to put it in simple terms. Here you can see the length of it, and you can now show, well, you're seeing the larger one, but you can be more attentive and hyper focused on the current one that we're testing. You see, regardless of how low the trend is going here, we cannot just teleport there. I mean, obviously we don't want to teleport there. That means if we teleport, we're making a gap, we have to fill it in. That's going to be a whole waste of time, which you guys know we really don't like. The market doesn't like that either. But what we are seeing here, that it's not all that bearish on the 30 minutes, and we've just tested the channel. So it could be that this bearishness was just a normal procedure, you see, before we go bullish again, repeat to the trend, maybe lock ourselves in that very narrow channel that is starting to develop between the convergence of the median of this force and this force. I'm sorry, I cannot draw to save my own life, but you can see what I'm trying to point out here, right? This almost narrow channel that is opening up, very visibly here being tested, and was tested prior to both ends, right? If we can look at the Syrian. Wait, before you guys load me up with tickers, wait, we already have a whole bunch. We're gonna have to do Palantir, Tesla, Netflix and stuff. Wait. We have not that much time, so before you load me up with tickers, I will have to tell you that sadly I'll have to run away in about 30 minutes-ish, because I have a session one-on-one. Members, you know, stuff, obligations, gents and ladies. But then of course I'll try to do another one, another live later. So what I'm trying to point out here, that if we're objective, there is an overarching larger trend that we spoke about last week. I'm sorry I didn't do a stream on the weekend. We had a bit of a holiday. It's Sukkot here, and I was kind of hanging out with my family. We didn't really celebrate my father's birthday, which I had the other week, so it was just kind of a combination of things. So yeah, so if we're objective about this, and we are, right? You see, this is why I said don't jump to any conclusions. As you can see, what we're doing right now, we're merely testing the lower end of this channel, right? Everybody sees this? It makes sense to you? You understand what's going on? So you see, it's not that difficult nor that far-fetched to say that, wait, before you assume that this is the beginning of the end, it might not necessarily be. Because objectively we know that there was at least last week some more bullish momentum to be squeezed out of the system. Although most of the time frames are rather bearish, right? We want to be objective about what we're seeing. Realistically speaking, not all of them are in line. And if not all of them are in line, that means there is still something in the system that needs to be pushed out. For example, we spoke about this. This appears to be more of a reversion to the downside, right? But let's be objective. We understand that these cycles often do not play this way. This is very abnormal, right? So we could easily see another convergence point right here, and the bullish momentum taking dominance, leading us into overbought territory, giving us a couple more bullish days. Not going to be that surprising. It could be, I'm not saying this is not the beginning of the end, could be, maybe, you know, this is a slow move towards, but we have to be objective, right? We have to be objective about what we're seeing. And more so, boys and girls, weekly. Weekly still is very problematic. You have to be objective about what we're seeing. Look at this. This is bullish at face value. In fact, quite a bit so. If this is not going to revert based upon what we're seeing and been waiting on the monthly, which we know we still have 10 more days. 10 more days, again, it sort of fits the narrative of that weekly, squeezing out that momentum and then some in the overbought territory, something akin to this. So that's kind of normal. You see, Ori, we're not necessarily breaking down this very second. The market is just so reactive to these events that it feels as if is everything breaking down all that rapidly. No, I mean, all in all, it's just a bit more of a volatile day, right? We did have, it's not like we don't have reasons for it. We had plenty leftover gaps that we needed to close. It's all good. That makes sense. This process makes sense. But Will it hold? For now, it's not that bearish. It is still squeezing out some of that bullish momentum. So is this the beginning? Could be, but there is a high probability that it's not. We have to be objective, okay? That's kind of what we're saying. The 3 months, of course, had not readjusted since. Okay, I hope it showed you what I was talking about, right? We're not doing all that bad still. I mean, we're doing horribly, right? If we're looking at the larger scale of things, you're going to realize how bad everything is and how the slowdown is happening and how far higher than normal we've gone. But I don't know if you've been in the community when I said the assessment was towards the 5,400. There was an assessment towards the 5,400, which we were assessing that higher run up over the edge of the channel from the get-go, just not that excessive. That's kind of... So, yeah, the market can be, as we say, irrational longer than we can stay solvent, if that makes sense. Now that we've covered S&P, boys and girls, I think that's more than enough, at least for the time being. Look, this overall... So to summarize, what we're expecting from today's session is probably a retest and retesting of that channel that is within right now, potentially maybe creating or moving into that negative wedge right there. So not going to be all that surprised, okay? That seems what we're going to be doing for today's session, kind of staying with that within the vicinity of. Now, let's look at all the tickers we wanted since. Zachary, are you still here, brother? I hope you're here, although I will be doing Palantir regardless. So, Palantir, again, did not surprise us all that much. Again, retesting of that 43.36, the same levels we spoke about and established a little while back and said we are aware of them and understand that the market will be retesting them. We never made it truly to the 45, which I'm surprised, to be frank. Remember, we spoke about the momentum, the cumulative momentum we had on Palantir. It was very, very bullish. So it's kind of surprising, but it is an indicative of the real market movers, really in the market shakers, if you will, you know, in this instance, dumping into your bullish expectation, which is very normal. Basically, you guys are buying and they're unloading. Lower high, not very good. Lower high retest of the 43.36, unable to break out, and in fact on a breakdown back to 41.93, which is pretty good. I mean, if we think about it objectively, we were able to break 41.93 right here, 43.36, which is actually, I'm going to be 1000% honest with you. Why do we have 41.93? I don't remember why we have that one, but it seems to be rather strong on my chart right here. So I'm going to take my word for it. And of course, we had the 40.30. Which is unsurprisingly going to get retested once we and kind of showed itself right here, right, that region. So, Zachary, I'm sorry to say, we're starting to see here very negative moves. Problem. It's not all that straightforward. You're starting to see the curvature of your SMA starting to flatten out, basically. It hints at a potential, not a reversion, at a potential reversion. What does that mean? Potentially, if this momentum will, or rather loss of momentum will catch, we will see an acceleration to the downside. Remember, 45 amplification of the 1 hour, so not all that surprising. I am saddened to tell you that we are in a range. You've heard me say these things before, and more so, we are right now at the horrible intersection between this force. This force still is at play. This force is still at play, and don't forget about two of our ranges within which we're moving at the same time. So there's a lot of stuff affecting to what we're about to do. If objectively looking at the momentum on the stochastic RSI, it's far more indicative that we're going to retest right here into this bottom. We're kind of already missed this juncture, so we're going to miss it. But that seems to be the very plausible location to which we're going to be moving based upon this 1 hour and 4 hour structures, right? Because there we're oversold, and here we're already starting to move down with a distinct loss of momentum, right? So yes, very, very distinctively red. Don't forget we had the channel inside that now we do no longer see because it got readjusted, but don't forget about it. It is still there. The market is very well aware of it. And yeah, I would warn that it seems as if the market would want to retest towards these locations, which is 40-30. It doesn't mean the end of everything. Remember, we're not going to be biased and we say things could pan out this way, right? But it will also pan out this way. So, whatever kind of thing. All right. That's Palantir is basically bearish. That's the current reality of Palantir. Let's see what else I did not miss. I hope I didn't miss. Which, Zach, it makes sense. It moves in tandem with the indices. We spoke about this before. And if the indices are currently going to be retesting the lower end, it's not going to be all that surprising to see, especially now, the Palantir going in tandem with the markets. The markets are outweighing whatever momentum that is being pushed individually into Palantir as an asset, right? So there's inherently that much buying, that much volume that is being pushed into Palantir that can try and fight to outweigh the negative momentum. It's almost as if you're getting, 40 points of momentum from Palantir, but you're getting, a minus 1,000 from the individual, the indices, right? So it cannot outweigh that. So what outweighs? The indices, of course, always, remember. It's almost as if you're climbing up at a certain rate, but I'm pushing you downwards far quicker than you're climbing. Or if it's a bucket, the hole is so big that you're losing water quicker than you're gaining. Oli, I hope I was able to comment on your comment there on the correction has begun. I don't know if I wouldn't jump to conclusions yet, and I would argue that the correction has begun a while back, right? It's just the difference between visibility and the overall structure, if you're looking at what is the bigger story, or if you're hyper focused on the narrow sort of, what's in front of you right now, right? That's I hope that answered or was a good reaction or a comment to your comment. Making sure to bell the ring and like the smash for Greg. Thank you very much, Christoph. Almost forgot to do that. Smashy, the likies. Very good, very good. Yes, Alex, thank you very much, brother. Shalom, indeed we said that. And PayPal and so far those don't stop right now very badly. All right, what are we talking about when we're looking at SoFi? No, I mean, look, Christoph, they're still in the same range. We're still testing the highs. We are on the, it's SoFi is on the roof right now. Basically, it's not as if it did penetrate the upper channel above the channel that we said we were testing, which was the range of 8 to 9. We're not in the attic even. We're on the roof right now actively, right? Which is abnormal, but makes more sense because I was even skeptical, if you know myself, of the numbers which range between the 2 and the 3. That's going to be just very bad for the company, which still could happen if we're truly going to go for a true deep correction in the market, as I'm expecting. So this just gives this a little bit more breathing room in terms of the higher spot it will be when the drop will initiate, the higher the low is, especially when it comes to this stock. Yes, potentially. It doesn't mean we're not going to drop to 2 or 3, or maybe high 2s, which I was thinking, and low 3s when the whole thing will start, right? More so, remember, the small caps, the speculative assets, although they're supposed to be a bank, we know they're still having trouble in their balance sheet. Right now, on their balance sheet, if you're going to be objective and look at it, there are issues, and they're still far away from being um, a leader in the sector. But I did say that I do think, and I will stand by my words, that I do think they will eventually going to be doing a lot better because it's a generational asset. It's an asset that's going to be the long, sort of the longer time goes by, the more saturated it's going to become, right? Pardon me. Let's see. How was PayPal doing today? Actually, I forgot to. Well, Affirm is. Let's see. But I mean, I'm pretty sure that. Ignore that. I was looking into Roblox. There's a good reason I'm doing that. Roblox are having some issues with some things. So yeah. But let's do PayPal. Right. And see. What is that junk? What's all that junk inside the trunk? Let's remove all the junk from the trunk. Alrighty. Now we're good. Yeah, I think I remember speaking about this, how we're going to see basically the curve flatten a little bit, even if test just this range, the median, whether it's going to happen post-testing this or rather sooner than later. I remember speaking about this now. That makes sense. Yup. Look, I'm your father and sister and aunt and sometimes uncle. I mean, nothing here all that surprising. We might be picking up on top of that SMA, which we finally, had the convergence with. But the further out we go, the way with the SMA, people oftentimes misunderstand how to use it or read it correctly, rather, would be is that eventually the closer we're going to get to this edge, this abnormality will be pushed out of the calculation of the SMA, and thus the whole thing will become a lot more tame. Of course, the SMA got that excessive considering the rally it had, right? We know when, wink, wink, by the way, I already have markings of that time. So I would be very skeptical to how well the SMA can pick it up. Yes, it can. In fact, it seems we are currently testing that junction, but we have to also be objective about the reading of what the market is set up to do. Yes, even if we're going to squeeze out a little bit longer and retest higher, eventually this is doomed to fail, at least based upon the weekly and the monthly. All right, so just to give you a little bit more of an objective point of view of how I see things right now about PayPal. We spoke about this. I think I remember speaking about this, how inevitably this thing will be shrinking. The trend will be shrinking. Remember, people look at this and like, look at this. This is an abnormality. Ignore it. Pretend it was not there. In fact, give it something like this in your mind, okay? If you really, really, really sort of want to give it some credence but not ignore it too much, give it something akin to this, which was an abnormality within itself if it would have been the case. But we know, I mean, yeah. The only thing we've done here, we broke the market temporarily, so now our entire channel and everything is going to be misleading for a long time until it's going to tame itself down. Those who are more objective understand that this is already the case. It's just that the market is misleading us to think otherwise. So far. Okay, so we said, yeah, but probably right, too small. Yeah, exactly, very good. Yeah, you answered before I. If we can look at Siri, let's go. Okay, let's go look at Siri. Why not? Siri. Siri, what is the weather today, Siri? What is the weather? Right. Okay, that is an interesting one. Did we have I think just checked it out the other day. Okay, nothing that I see. Nothing that will warrant me to think that I'm missing out on something. Oh, right, here it is. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay. Is it that weird that it's... Well, obviously, what Siri wants to do is probably close this thing. Just, that's kind of well considered already. More so, you're going to have post-split depreciation, which is a natural step post a split, which let's argue that... what was that? Okay. I mean, you might as well consider that you had some. In fact, more than some, but still you have that gap. You are squeezing out the lemon right now, or squeezing the juice. Somebody's buying into somebody's selling very, very badly, you see, right? This is bullish. This is very bullish. But then again, is it? Yes, it's a lot more bearish than it's bullish. It's misleading you. It's a fake out. Here it is. You can clearly see the bullshittery that is going on, right? It is many bullshitteries that making you think, but really what's going on is that you are testing the low of the channel right here. And that gives you, well, I'm going to have to, this is annoying. It's one of those really annoying ones, 170. Let's reset that one. Real quick. So you are just now going into full-on testing, but yeah, it's obviously not going to happen. I think you're going to slide along the channel into the previous lows. What will be potentially, I see you're going to have obviously a retest here, which what was here, it still is this. Okay, so you have obviously, what you really have here is this. Call it this level or call it that level. That's kind of where your true range is. So that was just slippage. Okay, that was not real. That was just slippage and necessity of the technicals. Just an outcome, basically. It's those who know. It's because the technicals and the bots are very annoying, and sometimes they like to be very precise about particular things. So that is normal. That is normal. This is actually sort of a bear trap, double bottom bear trap, almost by the book right there. That ended up happening, and of course the bulls got the best of it. The bears got squeezed, and by that time they're already out, so it doesn't matter. They're not going to wait the whole, like, this is not the time they're going to wait. They're already gone by now. They're gone. They're gone. So that's normal retest. You're basically moving back into your lower ranges, right? But it's probably going to be a retest of, what is that, like 15-ish. But that makes sense within the framework of the recessionary expectations. So it all works in the same framework. Overall, Siri is not looking all that bad, right? When you think about it, it's going to be a great time to start picking up, right? I took a phone call, so I was a little behind. Thanks for covering Palantir. My guess was a little bearish. We all good at picking up shares on the 30s. Well, Zach, again, remember, if I'm right, everything is going to hit a lot lower than just the 30s. But it's good. What happened now provides a better cushion and lower decline, a slower decline for Palantir. The problem is now that you guys are going to see how truly bad it can get when Palantir and S&P are truly intertwined and coupled, unlike before that it was a transition between the indices, if you will, into Palantir from the certain source, which was the S&P in a way, transitioning, which you can say NASDAQ, S&P, the whole bunch, the whole load, moving into the sector, moving into the S&P, and its subsequent contractors. But now it's worse. Now it's direct. Now this connection is direct, and so the tension the tension on that cable is far stronger. That means we're going to correct far quicker. And when we correct worse. So you see, it's not, I've warned you guys about this. I said it's something that's going to backfire later. But it doesn't mean anything. Remember, if you don't know how to trade, nor do you have the time for it, Zach, you know what we do? We pick up on the low end. That's all it is for most people. If you don't know what you're doing, don't trade it. Just buy. But be smart. Don't just buy. Don't try to catch a falling knife. Buy when it truly drops. Dip the buy, bell the ring, lag the smash. Of course, Christoph. You heard them, boys and girls? Yes. Those of you, by the way, who are not in the Patreon nor in our members section, what you guys need to know is that besides having people such as myself, we have Zach here, who's a pro when it comes to real estate, and one of our members who we actually advise with. So it's highly recommended you grab that $10 Patreon so you can join our members and hang out with us and ask questions that are a little bit more in depth. Soon that tier will be locked for a long time, and then it's going to be just the only way to get it, the cheapest way. It's going to be $20 on Tom's Patreon. So right now it's basically 50% on that Patreon. Use it, otherwise it will be gone. Those who are already members, not relevant for you. Hit like button, y'all. Yeah, Zach, thank you. Always do. Thanks, you know me, IDCA, and yeah, exactly. If more so, exactly. It's people who focus on that strategy. That's the most correct strategy. Just don't rush into things. Wait for it to what you would consider a proper time, right? And if you think 30s are your range, yeah, sure, start DCAing. You see lower good, you buy more. Let's do Netflix because I promised Netflix. But you know what? Is it all that different? I kind of like in cooking shows. Right, I prepared so you can kind of see what's going on. It is enjoying a bit of a relief moment right there, Netflix, so a bit of a nice rally. It's not all that surprising. We're probably going to retest that higher end right here that we're seeing, that range right here, right? Once we test it, I think we will start to correct. In fact, right now we're already squeezing the last drops before we do a correction. We might not even make it all the way on the 3 months. We're starting to see convergence forces here. Of course, not necessarily indicative, but remember, overarching, this is a downtrend still. Remember, we spoke about this on Netflix. Those of you who are interested in Netflix, Netflix probably will be doing a lot better when bad times hit. People retreat to the cheapest forms of entertainment, which is television, just chilling at home. Making your own meal, right? Chilling at home, watching a good movie, a good TV show, something. So I think the forces are currently indicating that we're going to be retesting these highs, then retreating back to the 700s. And my current target would be this range. You guys know we work with S1, S2, S3. S1 will be that range, the 700, right? Let's just call it's 799. It's a discrepancy from 700. Let's just call it 700, right? Psychological and various other forces, as you can tell. 552 will be S2, and S3 will be this 459.05 and 436.18 will be our S3. That's currently what we're looking at, okay? That is that. Based upon these based upon these structures and everything we just saw before, we're expecting the market to basically squeeze out and start correcting to the downside, right? And as we see here, finally on the monthly, which is changes in about 10 days. I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to squeeze some of it. In fact, before we do, if the correction doesn't start all that soon, we might be testing that wedge. So a lot of volatility up and down. all in all will result in sideways price action, potentially before we do these levels that I've mentioned. Netflix, yeah. All right, so we got some done. We got some stuff done today. Let's see. Yeah. My pleasure. My pleasure, Zach. I hope to see you more. Come to the open forum and hang out with us. There's plenty of questions right now about real estate, about the current conditions, what we're seeing, what you guys, the boys and girls who are closer to the table and know better what's going on in that sector, I would highly advise. If you guys in the community, when people such as Zach speak, listen. Okay, we're not know-it-all mother lovers, so we have experts who we ourselves learn to trust, regardless of how good we are, how well we understand things. We have people who know things better, right? And that's that. Shout out to all of you. Salute to everyone that showed up. I appreciate all of you. Really, no joke. From the core of my soul, not from the bottom of my heart. Bottom sounds not so great. But yeah, that's it. I think we're gonna adjourn today's meeting. I think at least this meeting. It's not all that surprising. You see, like I said, don't jump to conclusions all that quickly. Even a downtrend does not come through all that straightforward. We don't just move downwards, nor we just move downwards. Everything is oftentimes more of a process, right? Everything is a process. Even if we're going to retest highs, lows, doesn't matter. Even if volatility will increase. So these things are very, very, well, other than this, market doesn't go to the left. But other than this, everything is very, very possible. So don't jump yet to conclusions. Follow the momentum. Be objective, and you will be able to find what the market is doing. Elections, of course, the closer we get to elections, the more volatile / in the range the market will get. So it's not all that surprising. I think the market will do its actual more drastic move post the election, or during the us being able to see the outcome of the election. No, Leo, thank you guys for showing up. You are all legends. Darren Zurnama, yeah, Darren Zurnama, I hope I said it correctly. Legend at work. No, you guys are just as legends. We all are. It's not about I'm just a regular dude. That's my industry. I'm sure you guys are as magnificent and as amazing in your own profession and that thing that you guys do. That just coincidentally, that's mine. That's all it is. APP up 7%. Let's check it out there. And we still have a minute. Why not? Let's do this. APP. Come on. Thank you. With a gap. Darren, are you seeing you're having a gap there? Are you all that excited about it? Wait, are you having really a gap? Are you really having a gap? Let's see, are you really having a gap? Are you really having... Yes, you're having a gap, Darren. Are you all that excited about this? Well, regular. Let me just extend it here for a second. I mean, and you have all this choppiness, and you had that gap. You're going to have that filled in probably. Let's see how this asset treats gaps, right? You see, Darren, market is not a big fan of gaps. If we needed better evidence. If we ever needed better evidence. Come on, Darren. I mean, come on. You're gonna have some... you're gonna have some time, some fun here. Yeah, was it correct? Polish Jewish. Yeah! Darren Zurnheimer. Zurnheimer. Yeah, no, I can see how that's Polish Jewish. Absolutely. And Darren, you're probably the one. So, yeah, I can totally see that, bro. Totally can see that. Okay, boys and girls, I would love to continue ramble on. I do have a one-on-one session. I'm sorry, need to run. Those who don't know, I still have one single spot left for the one-on-one Technical Analysis Academy, in which I teach you one-on-one. No videos, no nonsense. I teach you one-on-one. We do sessions where I teach you how to do more advanced analysis, far more advanced stuff we do here. The stuff that really helps me conclude and show you the more basic approach to that same stuff, but really there's far more complicated and more advanced tools to use and have a better, more accurate reading of the market. Highly recommended. One final spot, don't miss out. No, it's not free. Hit me up on Discord, DM me, and I will be able to have a call with you one-on-one. Make sure I have all the tools to chat, and then we will talk about it. One final spot. Reminding you, boys and girls, and I'm running away now. I hopefully will get to see you later in the evening live if everything will be fine. I'm gonna have time and I'm gonna hang out with you a little bit more in the evening. And for now, boys and girls, have a awesome rest of the trading session. Cheers for now. Bye bye.